Hello, everybody. Boy, I got a lot of credits on that, huh? Editor, writer, film production, all that kind of shit. Hey, I just threw that thing together this afternoon, so we had an opening for today's show. Great to see everybody. Glad to see everybody is back and excited about my favorite show, the 31 Days of Monsters. I've been doing this now, I think it goes back 9 years. It's been streaming for 3, but prior to that, I used to do it as a movie list on Facebook. It's been at least 6, but I think it's actually older than that. I think it's like 8 or 9 years, and haven't run out of movies yet. Now, I did repeat them from the Facebook days to the YouTube days, because totally different animal. But we got a great list this year. And this is going to be fun because there's a lot of new stuff on here, modern films, and a lot of them I have not seen yet. So we'll be watching them together for the first time, which I think will be a lot of fun. Before we get into it, let's just see who is here, and I can say quick hello to Huron the Steadfast. Chris Juliano is here. Hyper Kaiju, Prater 7, H is for Heretic, JP Roca. Steve GT26, Dr. Mask's Retro Elixir, Conspiracy in Comics is here. Let's see who else. Rob Younce is here. Citizen Ronan, Blackjack. Yeah, we got a nice crew. Marcus Calagru has come on over. I see a lot of folks here. We're over watching the bros with all of us. That's great. Holy Hand Grenades is here. Maromi, Evil One, Raven Saber. Nice. Repairman Jack. He says, ahoy, Comicsgate. Ahoy. Fritzy Schnitzel is here. Kellraiser is here. Evil One, I said that one. Mr. Ruff. Wiley Draws. Brian Rubenacker, Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast. Tippy McKitty, TC, Heat Miser. Mr. Trig Lehman is here. Hey, Trig. William Sleeper, Caleb Reynolds, Stippling Vaughn, and Cigar Gangster and Jake Blues. Okay, if anybody comes in now, I can't say I didn't cover everybody. So, okay, so we have an awesome list here, and we'll go over it together. What I'll do is I will also copy this list, put it in the description of the show here. So if you ever wanted to go and see it and either, copy it and paste it so you had it, you'll be able to do that. But we'll go over the list, one-on-one here, and then we can then when the show's over, I'll put it in the description so you guys can have it. Oh, Solitary Rain is here. He's not chopped liver. Sorry, I missed you. All right, I'm gonna put the let's put the list up here. All right, so first up, we have The Exorcist 3. Now, this is, I'm skipping number 2, but I'm doing number 3. I saw this one in the film way back in the day with George C. Scott, and this is written and directed by Peter Blatty. Peter something Blatty. I forget his middle name. Anyway, he's the guy who wrote The Exorcist, and now he directed this one, and I think that one's a pretty good one. Monster Zero, one of my favorite of the Godzilla movies. It's got Nick Adams in it. Really bad dubbing, but great aliens and a lot of fun to it. Coming in at number 3, we have Near Dark, which is just a really nihilistic, different take on vampires. Got a couple of Hitchcock films this year. We have The Birds, and we'll have Psycho coming up down the list. We have Stephen King's The Shining, the original one with Jack Nicholson. Yeah, Nicholson. Then you have a really creepy ghost story, The Haunting, from I think 1962. Number 7 is one I want to see and haven't seen since it aired on TV, and that is Duel. This was Steven Spielberg's first movie. It was a TV movie of the week and starred Dennis Weaver. And it's about this trucker who I don't think we ever see, terrorizing Dennis Weaver on this highway. So I'm anxious to watch this. That is on. I believe they just put it up on. What's the horror station? Was it that? No, Criterion. I think it's on Criterion. Okay, so next up is Carrie, another Stephen King film, or based on his story. 9 is Terminator 2, the James Cameron follow-up to Terminator. Now, this one, probably a lot of people haven't seen, MULLOCH. It's a Dutch film, and I saw this on Shudder. They were showing it one evening, and I only caught the second half of it, so I haven't seen the whole thing yet. And it was really creepy and cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. Let's see. Then we have Gregory Peck in The Omen, so representing the 70s. And of course, we've got the classic Hitchcock Psycho. Can't believe I've never done that one. Oh, Predator 7 is Moloch spelled Moloch. I may have spelled it wrong. I didn't look it up. You could be right. After that, number 13, we have one of the best zombie movies I've seen in a long time. This is called Train to Busan. This is a Korean film, and it has so much heart. It's creepy, it's scary, and as I said, it's got a lot of heart. If you haven't seen it, you'll be in for a treat on this one. 14, we go into the trash with The Devil's Reign. This has got an A-list cast. You've got William Shatner, Ernest Borgnine, Ida Lupino, Eddie Albert. I mean, these are all, A-list actors in this cheapo film that was financed by these devil worshippers. I mean, the money was actually financed by these devil worshippers. I think I read somewhere where Borgnine was like, just, he really regretted making this movie, but I guess he needed the money. So that'll be a fun, horrible movie to watch. Might even see if we can do that as a watch party. That could be cool. Okay, so after The Devil's Reign, we have Return of the Fly. This was the sequel to the original David Hedison, Vincent Price film, The Fly. And Vincent Price is in this one as well. The Seventh Victim. Now, this one I just came upon, and I have not seen it. It's a Val Lewton film going back to 1944, I believe. And it's about a woman whose sister is killed, and in trying to figure out who killed her, she discovers this satanic cult in the Village in Manhattan, Greenwich Village. And so it's supposed to be really cool and creepy. It's got Tom Conway in it. So that'll be an interesting golden oldie to see. Diabolique, the classic French horror film. I've never seen it, but wanted to see that. Overlord. This is a World War II horror film. I think it came out on Netflix a couple of years ago. I think I saw it, but I'm not sure. I know we never did it. And this one's a lot of fun. Return of the Living Dead from the 80s. That's the one with brains, where the zombie wants to eat brains. That's where that comes from. That's a classic. Coming in at number 20, we got Land Unknown, which is a Jock Mahoney film, sort of Edgar Rice Burroughs-esque, where they crash at the North Pole or South Pole. I think it's the North Pole. And they find, dinosaurs in a jungle there. And there's some cool stuff in that one. So let's just stop there. Let me go back to the chat here, see what people have been saying about these movies. And then we'll continue on. Let me get back to where I was. Okay, there we are. JP Roca wants a plushie. Okay. Yeah, as soon as we get Joe 2 shipped out, we'll put that up on the website. And Julie's going to start shipping Joe 2 this week. So that answers your question too, Dr. Mask. Alrighty, let's see any questions here again. Steve says, "It the Terror from Beyond Space." I've already done that one, so you can go back through on my channel and watch that one if you missed it. Come on, where are we about the movies? Okay, here we go. Steve GT26 says Exorcist 3 is a damn good one. He says the studio made them add the exorcism at the end. Okay. William Peter Blatty. Thank you. That's what it was. Solitary Rain says, you just made me laugh out quite audibly. A laughter of glee, no less, and it's past 2 a.m. where I'm at. I'm looking forward to tonight's show. I don't know what I said that made him laugh, though. No Chud this year. No. Chris Juliano is hot on Near Dark. Good, good. Citizen Ron says Haunting is great. Faye says Train to Busan is great. Yeah, we haven't gotten to that yet, Steve, but it'll be the original Invaders from Mars. People loving on Duel. Holy hell, Colossus! I figure we would have shot holes in such a film. Not the Colossus of New York. That's a different movie, if that's what you're thinking. Nice list so far. Good mix of classic and contemporary. That's what I was trying to do. Mix it up. Dennis Shoemate says, great list. The Train to Busan is incredible. Please, dear God, people, make sure to watch the original Psycho. Yeah, this is the original. Yeah, 200-watt studio. Colossus is fantastic. Yeah, Vincent Price is in that. 7 Victims reminds me of Rosemary's Baby. Yeah, it does sound like that, doesn't it? I haven't seen it, so I don't know. We'll find out. Rusty Baker loves Val Luton's Cat People. Chris Juliano says Overlord was supposed to be a Cloverfield film. Okay. All right, let's pop back in here. So we ended at Land Unknown. All right, so here's one that came from a suggestion list that somebody had messaged me here on YouTube, and that is Creature with the Atom Brain. I haven't seen it, but it sounds lurid enough to give it a go. What do you think? At number 22, we have Planet of the Vampires, the first Mario Bava film to make it into my list. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. 23. Here's one I came across when I was on Shudder. They have this series called the 101 Best Horror Fright Scenes or something like that, where they talk about various scenes and they rate them. And I had never heard of this movie, The Autopsy of Jane Doe. It's got Brian Cox in it and Emil Hirsch. And it looked really, really cool. It looks creepy as hell. And it's a mystery story, too. It's about this father and son who are morticians or medical examiners. And a body comes in and they're examining it. And as they peel away stuff, they find more and more things that become questionable and problematic and mysterious. And they don't know how things, So that sounds like it's going to be really cool. I hope it is. Phase 4. That's a 70s movie that it's about ants. Ants taking over something. But what interested me about it is that the director is Saul Bass. And Saul Bass was the world famous designer. And he designed the titles for films. And some of the films he did was North by Northwest and Psycho. And he's trying his hand as a director here. So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Evil One, thank you for that $5 super chat. Going to Vegas and going to meet Larry Cohen at a drive-in movie festival in October, but I'm getting up early, I promise. Finally, ROTLD, finally. I'm not good on acronyms. ROTLD. I'm not sure what that means, but thank you for that $5 super chat, Evil One. Okay, let's see, where were we? Number 25, The Hallow. This is I believe it's either a British or Irish film. And the Irish make some pretty good horror films, I got to say. One of my favorites, which I've done in the past, is Grabbers. And this one is a creepy tale that takes place in the woods with these creatures that are out there in the hollow. So that's going to be a fun one. I've seen that one. Now here's one I have not seen, Session 9. And I believe this is the one with David Caruso. And these guys are like asbestos cleaners in this old mental hospital where a lot of bad shit went down. And I think there's ghosts and stuff in there and crazy stuff happens. It looked interesting enough to give it a whirl. Another Irish film, Sea Fever, came up when I was scrolling through Shudder, and I watched the trailer for it. That one seemed pretty cool to me as well. Basically, this ship gets stranded out at sea. They can't get off the ship because there's something in the water, some type of I'm not sure if it's a creature or if it's some kind of a disease thing, or it affects the ship and it affects people like a parasite. And that looked creepy. So I wanted to give that a whirl. Megan. This is a good movie. It's about this woman that works for a toy company and creates this doll, and the doll bonds with the kid and protects the kid, and it goes to incredible degrees to protect this kid. Evil One with a follow-up $2 super chat. You're a horror fan? Oh, Return of the Living Dead. Yeah, I'm a horror fan, but I just don't know acronyms. Thank you, my friend. Okay, so Megan, The Lair. What was The Lair? this British pilot gets shot down. It looks like it's in Afghanistan, and she goes into like this bunker type of thing, and there's these creatures that are living in the bunker in the lair. And this was directed by the same person who did, I believe it's The Descent, which we covered last year about the women that go spelunking into the caves and stuff. So I thought that one was pretty decent, so thought we'd give this one a shot. And then we have Colossus: The FORBIN Project. I came across this one the other day and watched it, and it's very, very forward thinking in that it's really describing what we're calling AI today. It's got a touch of AI, and it also has a lot of what Cameron was preaching against in Terminator 2. So it's got Eric Braeden, or he used to be known as Hans Gutergeist. You remember him as one of the Germans in the Rat Patrol, and then he went on to have a huge career in soap operas. But this is a really, really intelligent movie. And then we're going to close it off on Halloween with a perennial classic, which I've never done before, which is Invaders from Mars, 1953, I believe, the original. I just watched the remake a few years back, or a few months back, rather, with was it Toby Hooper who did that? I think it was Toby Hooper who did the remake, and it's pretty good. Some of the creatures are kind of funny looking, definitely 80s, but the original one has gone through a huge cleanup, and it's been restored, so that's going to be fun to see. And I try to always do a classic on Halloween night. So, all right, let's get back to the crew here, see what they had to say. Rusty Baker says he heard excellent things of the autopsy of Jane Doe. Planet of Vampires is a basis for Alien. It might be one of the inspirations for it, Chris, but the main one, and they even stole scenes from it, was It, the Terror from Beyond Space. Nope, I didn't miss it. Rusty Baker says, great choice with Megan as well. That surprised me at how good that was. Yep, exactly, Steve. Colossus is a rogue AI movie. Rob, yeah, I did watch Dog Soldiers. I liked it okay. I think I did a show on it last year. Oh, Solitary Rain says, a happy laughter. Serotonin will do that to the brain. Well, it is late there, isn't it? Rusty 2 says, The Nun 2 was enjoyable. John Morgan Batneil likes Phase 4. All right, excellent. Paul Taylor's only seen Carrie and the Omen on this list. Okay, good. You get some stuff to watch. There's a couple other ones. The Audition, Japanese film, which I was going to do. And I took it off because I think I want to watch that one first before I subject anybody to it. Because I've seen some scenes from it, and it's like, you gotta be kidding me. And I read that it sort of gave birth to, movies like Saw and what has become known as violence porn. So I think I'm going to watch that first before, and maybe I'll put it on next year if I think it's worth it. But Chris says that session 9 is creepy. All right, cool. I mean, anything in a mental institution, closed up mental institution, I think is creepy. Marcus Kelleher will be turning 58 when the LAIR. It's October 29th. So write that down, folks, and send them presents. Which might be the best thing about it, as I'll turn 58. Okay. I hope it's better than that. Man of War 665 says Braden's Victor Newman, I guess that's his soap opera character, dies every contract negotiation. Well, I like the fact that he gets in there and rolls up his sleeves with those guys. Yeah, The Descent. I didn't know he did Dog Soldiers too. Have you seen The Ritual from 2018? I believe so. There's so many of these one title horror movies anymore. It's hard to keep them straight. I think that's the one where the guys are hiking in the mountains, right? And they end up at that place. And the one guy turns his ankle. He was a coward when his friends got killed, and keep flashing back to the scene in the store. I think that's it. Oh, that's right. Eric Braeden played the werewolf on Kolchak, the one where the werewolf was on the cruise ship. I forgot about that. Good catch. Prater7, thank you for that $2 super chat. Maybe check out The Ritual for future lists. If that's the one I'm thinking of, I think I covered it. But I'll go back and check. Paul Gibbs says, hail Comicsgate, hail chat. If you guys haven't hit that like button, please do so. Also, make sure you are subscribed to this channel if you have not done so. That way, you'll get all the notifications for the shows coming up. Kevin says that the audition is pretty tame compared to some of the stuff that came after it. Most of the intense stuff happens in the last 20 minutes. Rusty Baker really liked Dog Soldiers. Who reminds us all to rise from your graves, Ghoul Gang. Paul wants to know, will I be streaming this on your channel? Yes. Sounds like you're not subscribed, Paul, so please do so. It doesn't cost you anything, and you will get the notifications every day that we're about to go live. And it will be every day in October, at least. I thought I did Dog Soldiers last year. Okay, thanks, Dr. Mask. Chris Juliano likes the list. Excellent. 200-watt studio. Which version of Monster Zero? Japanese language or dubbed? You should have packed her in ice. Should have packed her in ice. Yeah, I'll probably whichever one I can watch. I mean, the Nick Adams stuff won't be dubbed, and the Japanese stuff will have the subtitles, or you just watch the Nick Adams one where the Japanese guys are dubbed. Doesn't matter, whichever one I can find. But I really have a soft spot for that one for some reason. I don't know why. Something about the story, about the astronauts and the aliens, you know, that are kind of sinister and a bunch of liars and stuff. And of course, it's got Monster Zero, which is a Ghidorah, which is like the greatest Godzilla villain, you know. Fritzy Schnitzel wants to know if I've done Suspiria. I have not. I was actually going to put that on the list this year, but it got forced out. So it'll have to be something that I do next year. Yeah, Duel is a Richard Matheson story. That's another one I was going to do, the Tales of Terror. I don't think I did that yet. That's the Trilogy of Terror. Trilogy of Terror. It's got the 3 stories written by Richard Matheson, and the last one's the Zuni doll with Karen Black and that crazy African doll with the teeth that terrorizes her around her apartment. Let me just pop this out here. There we go. I've seen the list. Man of War wants to know if anybody else remembers The Company of Wolves. I remember it. Have you seen Onababa or Kureniko? 2 great Japanese horror films. Not only have I not seen them, I've never heard of them. John Morgan says Queen of Blood was also an influence on Alien. Evil One doesn't like Terminator 2 being on this list. Not really a horror film, but Monsters was a great flick for a low-budget indie film. Yeah, that was a good one. I watched Gargoyles when it first aired on TV back in the early 70s, and I was blown away by it. I watched it again last year, and I was not blown away by it. It is slow. It really is kind of stupid. It doesn't hold up. Yeah, I've seen Bone Tomahawk. Whew. That's a movie you can't get out of your head. That's for sure. William has a $1.99 super chat. The 2014 film Jinn is surprisingly good. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I've heard of it. Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast, $6.65 super chat. Thank you, sir. Would recommend a fave for future lists, but another Graham evisceration, one of my all-time faves, would take the very heart of me. Which one did I eviscerate? Did you mention the gargoyles? Remind me which one I tore into. Ages for Heretic, thank you for that $5 super chat. Lopez needs to be shamed 31 days for his opinion on Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Absolutely. He's dead to me, that guy. No more. He's out. Can't believe he said that about Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. I've determined that, he actually doesn't like Abbott and Costello because, he said that the movies aren't funny. That movie's not funny and it's not scary. Well, it's funny if you know Abbott and Costello. And as far as it being not scary, well, tell me which of the Universal monsters is scary today. They're more like atmospheric and fun and like a well-worn sweater. They're not really going to make you jump or frighten you or something. They're just cool and fun. Since you have Shudder, have you seen Vicious Fun? A guy accidentally ends up at a serial killer self-help group. Well, that sounds bizarre. Brian G says, speaking of sea fever, another good ocean horror was another good ocean horror was surprised with was Underwater. Okay, I haven't seen that one. I have not done the old Dark House yet. No, it's not art. It's a graveyard smash. Here's my old bro, Mr. Art T. Bear in the room. Past Master Dan says, great job on all those likes. Hit them, guys. Hit them. Crush them. No. Because I don't have written lists for all of them. You just have to go through the posts. You can create your own list. They're all numerical by the date. Creators Outlet says, Hail, I already started watching classic Hammer horror on Tubi. I'm hot and cold on Hammer horror. I watched Brides of Dracula the other day, and that was pretty good. But some of them are a little slow. And some of the set pieces are really cheesy looking. King Ghidorah gave him his due. Monster Zero is second to me behind original 54 Gojira. Nick Adams' dialogue is the best. It is. He gets all method acting too in this one scene where he says, basically, and doesn't amount to a hill of beans. He's got that New York accent. And then he and the Japanese astronaut, there's a period point there where neither of them can understand what the other guy's saying. And the one guy goes, huh? Cracks me up every time. And they act like they know what the thumbs up and thumbs down is referring to. Oh yeah, Richard Matheson was the bomb, man. He wrote so much stuff. Last Man on Earth, or rather, I Am Legend. The Trilogy of Terror, Kolchak, Duel. I mean, the list goes on and on of amazing stuff that guy wrote. Stephen Tasman says, I've only seen 11 on the list. I've got a pile of watching to do. Well, that's the fun of it. If you got the list, you can see the stuff. You can start watching some of the stuff ahead of time, which is good. Oh, yeah, here's some more. Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, Incredible Shrinking Man. Rusty Baker Private Eye is really looking forward to this list. Dr. Mask reminds us to make your Monster Month even better by getting something cool here at www.compasscomics.com. The Shanu will love you if you do that. Let's fix his eye here so you can see him. There it is. Aaron is not a movie guy. Aaron may forget, but we will never forget. I'll bet he wishes he could take that back. Abbott and Costello Frankenstein is a national treasure. Absolutely. The Invisible Man is the best. Of the Universals, I love The Invisible Man. It's great. But the new one is actually quite good, too. Different kind of movie. Come on, Graham. Became a running joke. Carpenter's The Thing. Oh. Okay. That's the one I eviscerated. No, I only eviscerated it from the sense that I like the original much better. The Carpenter one is a great film. I watch it all the time. It's just not as enjoyable as the other one for numerous reasons, which I went into and eviscerated for. So. Graham, been missing you on CG Kings. Come back. Yeah, I've been nose to the grindstone working on Ghosts of Matacumba Key. That's why I haven't been doing any streaming really, except for the bros. This is coming up now because October is coming up, and I do this every year, so I have to cut corners where I can so I can make up time and get caught up on Ghosts of Matacumba Key. I'm down to 9 pages, guys. That's all I have left of the main story. So I've been making good headway. It's looking amazing. The colors are coming in from Greg are incredible. And I can't wait for you guys to read it. Various perks are coming down each week. Last week, the Kelly Jones variant cover came down. Tonight, actually, you've got 6 minutes. The black and white version, which is the black and white cover and the black and white interior variant, which is probably going to be the rarest of them all, is coming down tonight. So if you were on the fence about that, go over there and grab it. If any of the mods could put the Matacumba Key link in the chat, that'd be great, guys. So. Too much film school for Lopez. Well, he says Billy went to fabric school. So we're going to say that Aaron went to movie school. Probably the best holding up as horror is Creature from the Black Lagoon. I would say, because the creature's really an animal. It's not really horror. I'd say the one that holds up best as horror is the original Frankenstein. The unveiling of Frankenstein is still amazing. Oh, Rob Younts was talking about the book Return of the Wolfman made into a movie would be fantastic. Oh, I agree. That's a very hard paperback to find. Uh, if you can find it at a decent price, grab it. It's called Return of the Wolfman. It's written by Jeff Roven, who was an editor uh, at Atlas Comics. And he tied in all the Universal monsters, and the movie picks up at the end of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and it goes from there, and it comes into modern time and brings back the Wolfman. And it's really, really good. But I think it's pretty expensive. I didn't think the old Dark House was that good. I agree. It's more atmosphere than anything else. It's really not a great movie, which is probably why I've never done it. Gorgeous George. I considered the Blair Witch Project this year, but there's next year. I can't do them all. Got to save some. There you go. You guys do the homework. Compile a list of the past years of 31 Days of Monsters. That way I'll have them and I can cross-reference them. I don't have to go back to my own channel. Yeah, Peter Cushing was great as Dr. Frankenstein. I loved him. What do you guys think of Frank Langella as Dracula? I liked that movie a lot. I thought, um, you know, I guess that was the beginning of the handsome Dracula, if you will. Um, but there's some really cool stuff in that movie where you see him climbing down the castle wall. He's a big guy too, Langella. So, he had a very imposing and powerful way about him. Yeah, that first one is great. Love The Conjuring. Captain Kronos. I mentioned it on purpose. I think they were supposed to do a series of those, and I forget what the story is. Maybe I'll do that one of these years and do a deep dive into it. Dead Punk Gage, his favorite hammer is probably Dracula 8072. That one is a hoot. It's Dracula in, versus hippies, which is actually quite fun. Yeah, this is another one of those things that I loved as a kid, and it came out once a year and you waited for it and you got it and watched it and it was fantastic. When I rewatched it as an adult, I realized just how slow it is and the songs are horrible. But the designs, Harvey Kurtzman and Jack Davis did the designs for the characters, which are amazing. It's got a lot of great atmosphere and stuff. It's just, I think it's an hour long, but it really should have been 25 minutes. That to sustain that kind of quality and that stop motion stuff for that long, it doesn't hold up. I like Dreamcatcher. I thought that was I didn't know what to expect when I first watched that movie, and I mean, because I didn't read the book, and that one really hit me from the side. I was like, "What the hell is this about?" I thought that was pretty good. Last Man on Earth. That's a public domain film, so we did that as a watch party, I believe, last year. Great one. It's actually the best version of I Am Legend. Yeah, I love the green slime. I did that one a couple of years ago. That's a fun one. Oh, Great, Past Master Dan. Thank you so much for putting that in there. Much appreciated. Yeah, so you can use this link because it is shadow banned. You won't be able to Google search it. It's 10 o'clock now, but you know, I have to physically turn off that perk. So as long as the show is going on, you still can get in there and get the black and white version. Tom Tuttle. Hello, Tom. My personal fave is Spider Baby. Yeah, that's a hard one for me. It's really weird. But it's got Cheney Jr., so TV shows have been on the list. I did Kolchak, and there was another one I did too. Can't remember now. Evil One, yeah, I'll post it right here on I'll post it right here on YouTube. It'll be attached to the description here of this show. Yes. Oh, Julie just reminded me. I also did Salem's Lot, which was a TV movie. Thank you, Jules. History of the Wax Museum. I did that one last year. Yep. Waiting for the Joe Frankenstein movie. You and me both. Gee, thanks for mentioning Shanu. Miss Stippling is hammering on my arm, yelling, I want my plushie now. I did House of Wax also. Saw that in a movie theater. It was a re-release in the early 70s, obviously. Not that old. Hellraiser got the glow in the dark title of the book. Cool. Yeah, that one has the color interior, but it's got the glow in the dark logo. If I were Jack Kirby, 9 pages would be 2 days. 9 pages would be a day. Yep, did Horror Express also. You got some catching up to do, Steve. You need to go back through my YouTube channel and check out all those movies that I've already done. Homework, son. Rusty Baker, Private Eye, loves both versions of the thing. I was gonna do Scream, Blackula, Scream too, but I'm pretty sure that I did a double feature with Blackula a year or two ago. But I love that movie. Those two movies. The boss says I did. Well, I'm with you on this. Can't think of a Cushing performance I have ever disliked. Yeah, he was so good. Yeah, I did. I did Abominable Snowman last year. Targets. Yeah, that's an excellent film. Really excellent. Karloff is fantastic in that. Yeah, Squib Z likes Omega Man. BBC 77 Dracula is here on YouTube. Maybe the best adapted version. Is that the one with um, the French actor Louis Jourdan? That is a good one. Who knows? They've never given me an answer. Yeah, we'll do some watch parties. Well, that's the prevailing thought. I'm not exactly sure that that's it, because they didn't ban Joe Frankenstein 1 and 2. So go figure. But the last laughs on them, because my Shadow Band book is my most successful book. We just hit, let's see here. I think we hit 183. Yeah, we're at 183, 490 with 2,300 backers. That's fantastic. Wasn't Kolchak a series? I seem to remember watching a bunch of them as a kid. Yes, it was called The Night Stalker. Kolchak the Night Stalker. But the first movie was a TV movie called The Night Stalker, and then The Night Strangler was the second movie. The second one wasn't as good. Oh, Paul, you've never seen that? You got to watch it. It's part of that whole blaxploitation era, early 1970s. There was even one Blackenstein, which is a Frankenstein one, which is awful. I don't recommend it at all. But the Blackula ones are fantastic. The actor, I can't remember his name now. Shakespearean actor. He played Richard Daystrom in The Ultimate Computer and Star Trek. Handsome, tall, very imposing black man. What's that actor's name? Somebody in the chat, throw it up there. Or Julie, get on that. Message me. But he's great in it. He really brings up a B-level movie too. Much better than you think you should like it. Oh, hey, K-Plan 1142. He loved the Chinook comic so much, he did his first Comicsgate book review on it. Well, good. The boss, William Marshall. Thank you. Thank you, Julie. William Marshall. So great. Such a great actor. Wow, Dan Genovese's late because he was on a plane, and yet here he is. Hail, Graham. Hail, chat. I'm looking forward to October. If you missed the list, Dan, when the show's over, I'm going to put it in the description here, so you'll be able to copy it and paste it, and you'll have the list of the movies. Now, I'd pay good money to see that movie. Oh, chick. Rusty Baker, Private Eye, says Alien Alamo is the first comic he bought as part of Graham's Nolanverse. I loved it so much that I backed Ghosts, and I got Shanu as a bonus too. I can't wait to read them. Thank you, Graham. Thank you, Rusty. Much appreciated. I'll be interested to hear your take. What was your take on Werewolf by Night from last year? I thought it was terrible. I didn't like it at all. It clearly wasn't shot in black and white. They just took the color out and to make it in gray tones. So the cinematography wasn't geared towards black and white. The story was the most dangerous game, and the acting I thought was terrible. I didn't like it at all. In fact, I fell asleep at the end. That tells you. Jack Palance Dracula is also on YouTube. Yeah, that's the Dan Curtis version. I did that one as well. I remember watching that on TV when it first aired, and I was just impressed with Palance because he was so feral and so big, and you'd throw people. It's really cool. All right, gang. We are just about done here. We covered all the chat, gone over the list. I'm excited. I hope you guys are. The first few days, we're going to be actually on vacation. So I'll be broadcasting those shows in the morning from an undisclosed location. And, it doesn't say it here, but we're going to do it like last year on the weekends. On Saturdays, the show will be at 9 in the morning. And then on Sundays will be whenever. It'll be a rotating time on Sundays. Because we do our mass times are changing. But we usually do like a 9:30 mass. So and then we got to go grocery shopping and stuff. So it'll probably be in the afternoon more than likely, as opposed to the morning on Sundays. Paul Taylor, that's a $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you, Paul. I whipped through Joe Frankenstein 1 and said, that's all. It's unusual for something to hold my attention for long these days, but it did. When are you thinking part 2 will be out? Part 2 will begin shipping later this week. So, we get a little held up with some CGC issues on part 1, which put us back a little bit. But Julie's getting stuff together now, and sometime this week we'll begin the process. So it's coming, my friend. This question's for you, Paul. Ever see the soap opera Strange Paradise, the Canadian answer to Dark Shadows? I've never heard of it. Oh, Stephen Tasman says William Marshall was also in the Boston Strangler and Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte. Cool. Evil One says it's going to be a fun October. Yeah, it is. Looking forward to it. I got all excited going through and making the list and everything. I always do every year. Try to find new stuff and, wonder how it's going to play with you guys and all. So that's going to do it, my friends. We're going to wrap it up. You'll have a few more minutes to get the what's it called? The black and white cover. Let me just show it to you so you know which one it is. Time player. No, that's not it. Oh, here it is. Preview, open recent. There we go. So I'll just share this real quick. There it is. So this is the cover that's coming down. This is the black and white cover and black and white interiors. And what makes them interesting is, so you're going to see the whole story in its purest form with the gray tones before the colors were added. This is probably going to be the rarest of all the variants. It's the only one that'll be printed in black and white. So if you're into that kind of stuff and want to study the artwork in its pure form, this is the book for you. I'll leave it up a little bit longer because we ran on the show, ran a little bit late, and maybe give it to 11, something like that, and I'll take it down. So go grab this if this is the kind of thing that floats your boat, and appreciate your support, and appreciate all you guys coming in here and checking out the list, and look forward to seeing you on October 1st. Until then, have a great time, guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.